can, but the law doesn't say the law doesn't say he can. No, but the law, you know, the funny thing about it, the law doesn't say he can't pick. And we had a presidential candidate who a leader who picked his running mate from the south. You know who he was?
Oh yeah.
You remember? He did, and they were different time, different circumstances, maybe different law.
Yeah.
But the law doesn't. Okay, so Tinubu thinks maybe I should drop a northeasterner. Not because it's not good, but because I'm looking to boost my votes. So let me go somewhere else. Where would he go? Let's take North Central. In all likelihood, you can't go to North Central and pick another Muslim. So you've sacrificed two things. You've sacrificed the Northeast for North Central. You've sacrificed the Muslim running mate for a non-Muslim. Risk. 3, you have offended the Muslims. The people who walk every inch of the way with you, the Muslim ticket, will now say, you see, we got him into the presidency. He spends 4 years. Now he wants to teach us and go to the Christians. Now the religious issue is very, very risky here. Yeah. So if he goes to the North Central, in all likelihood, or maybe he stays in the Northeast and picks a Christian, those are options. He can't go to the Northwest. We just did with the late Buhari, may Allah forgive him. Yeah. So going Northwest is a bit risky. They've had too much on their plate. But if he wants to, Kano is there. One of the popular things people say. But you know the result between the gap between NNPP in Kano and APC
is over 500,000.
Yes, it's over 500,000.
But over a million.
For the population of Kano, that's not too much. And so what you gain if you pick somebody from Kano compared to what you lose, if a lot of people vote against your party, may be very risky.
It will be.
Outside Kano, where could he go? He could go to Kaduna and pick somebody else, and then you have both the religious card, but the Christian element is also going to... Anyway, the point is, all these computations, all these things, I've made this point before. You're wasting time on political calculations when you should be focusing on governance. It's the governance thing that you will take to the electorate at the end. It doesn't matter what you think you've done. All these people defected into your party. The bottom line is Nigerians are going to say, what did you do the first 4 years we gave you? Don't take us for granted. We can't vote you out if the election is free and fair. So show us what you've done.
And one major thing that a lot of people, and some of us will remind the president about, is one of the promises. Not that he inferred,
absolutely,
but what he says categorically. If I do not fix electricity, for example,
don't vote for me.
Don't vote for me.
Absolutely.
And that could be an albatross.
Quite a few of them. He didn't specifically say, if I don't stop all the bloodletting. But he was the president. You are a lawyer. The constitution says the job of the Nigerian state, not just the president, is to secure the citizen and the nation and to facilitate the welfare of the citizen. On both counts, this administration is failing very badly. Very, very badly.
Is it that bad compared to Muhammadu Buhari in terms of security?
Absolutely.
Really? I think it's that bad. I thought Nuhu Ribadu is doing a fantastic job with some of the security guys in the IM of affairs. I thought that, based on some of the indices and the sciences that I've seen, that there's a bit more of deliberate intelligence gathering than I've seen. I'm one of those who have thought that intelligence gathering is worse off under the last administration. No coordination, intelligence zero. But I'm imagining that there seems to be some level of difference that we're saying. Maybe it's not working as much as we thought.
Well, it is Hakeem Baba-Ahmed, Dati Baba-Ahmed's brother. So I want you to take your time, listen to this interview he just granted. Listen to everything he said. You know, and in fact, I don't know, just take your time, watch the video to the end so that you know what we're talking about. This country, see, no timers. No, they'll deceive you, they'll deceive anybody. So the thing is, it is sure that Tinubu will be unseated, but who is that candidate that is going to be the person to unseat Tinubu? Who is these people backing? That is the question. But until now, it's still the rumors that we are not supporting this, we are not supporting that, but we need somebody, we need a young person who is going to do the job, who can do this, can do that. But Atiku is out of the question, according to this man. For him, Atiku should not contest. Do you understand? For him, Atiku should not contest. Atiku had done his best 2-3 times. He didn't win, but what gives you the assurance is that when you come again this time, you are going to win. This time that is even very difficult for you. Nigerians are not ready to vote for you again. You are only coming to spoil. You are a spoiler, spoil the chances for another person. So you should go. So now, take your time, listen to everything this man said. And we're not even going to talk about Tinubu's government because he said it before. Tinubu government has failed many times. And this is one reason why they want to unseat Tinubu by all means. So please watch the video to the end. And please If today is your first time coming across this YouTube channel, do me a favor, like, share, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you don't miss updates like this. Hit the notification button so that you get to see, you'll be the first person to see the video.
Are you worried though, because of the talks that we hear about the possibility of Kashim Shettima not being used for a second term?
I don't know whether I should worry or not. To be honest with you, I hear a lot of things.
But you are closer to the vice president than to the president.
I am. I've always been.
In that
I was
sense,
never close.
It was Kashim Shettima who came to you and said, look,
Yes.
come work with us.
Yes.
And in that sense, some level of affinity still exists between both of you.
Yes.
And the kind of character that you think that he is, or that you know that he is, what kind of political bend do you think this will be for him, for Northeast politics, for Borno State, and for those who are a lover of Kashim Shettima, if he's dropped?
To be honest, I would ask, if there is some element of truth in this, I would ask, what would be the motive of the president for dropping Kashim Shettima? On the basis of what I know of him, he's an extremely loyal, very competent, very hardworking vice president, who is an asset to the president, both politically and in person. And so I'll be very curious to find out what it is that makes all these stories about dropping him. I think somewhere along the line, to be honest, I think the president should have done something a long time ago. The president, if all these stories about dropping the vice president for somebody else, another northern vice president, maybe a Christian, maybe going somewhere else, if all these things had absolutely no iota of truth, it would have taken only one thing, Shio. The president directly and personally saying, stop this nonsense. I have confidence in my vice president. I work well with him. I'm happy with him. And I want this nonsense to stop about me dropping him now or in the future. I will take a decision about who will be my running mate is in 2027 when we get there. In the meantime, we have work to do. But he didn't say that. His people didn't say that.
Does that sound like a tacit endorsement
it's worrying.
of the undercurrent?
Let me just say it's worrying. If what I have said is exactly what the president thinks, he should have said it. If he doesn't say it exactly the way I have, but he should have found a way. But it must come from him, and it must be direct, and it must be emphatic.
So some political narratives that seems to be extreme comes down to the figures and the numbers. And you advise the presidency politically in the area of politics, so you understand. Interestingly, my fellowship was in the U.S. on the U.S. election, and it was a time that Donald Trump was running against Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
And out of almost 20-something of us who are from different countries of the world, I was perhaps the lone voice in the room who thought Donald Trump was going to win the elections. And I was not doing it out of emotion. I was doing the math, the political calculations of how Donald Trump and those who is appealing to at the time. He was appealing to the Baptists. He was appealing to the evangelicals. He was appealing to some segment of the extreme segment of the American people. And they were receiving his message quietly. And those numbers matter. And he went down. He didn't get a popular vote. But you look at it, the establishment wanted him some way. And he got into office. And this is the reason why I'm trying to enter into the mind of a Bola Tinubu who has never lost an election. Who would think that a Northeast candidate have tried this joker, an extreme joke, political joker that he played on his opponent the last time. The Muslims knows him to get. He was literally walking on the ledge. It was an extreme sport that he practiced at the time. He would be asking himself, can he try that a second time? Considering what a 500,000 vote from Kano, for example. Can you cheat Kaduna? Can you cheat Kano? Can you cheat Bauchi? Can you cheat Jigawa? And can you bank on the Borno vote? Do you still have the popularity in the Northeast? How much of vote did you get? He got about 3 million or so vote in the Southwest region of the country. The man will be thinking about the numbers and he will look at it. What are my options? Do I want to win the next election? So those might be extreme at the time, but he looks at the bottom line, isn't it?
I
think political permutations.
No. Those are excellent permutations. What you need to do beyond this is to look at the options. You've mentioned options. Let's assume, for the sake of argument, that President Tinubu looks at the North as a huge potential asset and thinks, well, maybe I should change where I pick my VP. Northeast is only like maybe 60-40.
His outing was very poor then.
Where would he go? He has to go to the North. That's settled.
That's it.
He can't pick a vice president from the southern part of the country. He can, but the law doesn't say. The law doesn't say he can. No, but the law. You know the funny thing about it. The law doesn't say he can't pick. And we had a presidential candidate leader who picked his running mate from the south. You know who he was?
Oh, yeah.
You remember? He did. And well, different time, different circumstances. Maybe different law.
Yeah.
But the law doesn't. Okay, so Tinubu thinks, maybe I should drop a northeasterner. Not because it's not good, but because I'm looking to boost my votes. So let me go somewhere else. Where would he go? Let's take North Central. In all likelihood, you can't go to North Central and pick another Muslim. So you've sacrificed two things. You've sacrificed the Northeast for North Central. You've sacrificed the Muslim running mate for a non-Muslim. Risk. 3, you have offended the Muslims. The people who walk every inch of the way with you, the Muslim ticket, will now say, you see, we got him into the presidency. He spends 4 years. Now he wants to teach us and go to the Christians. Now the religious issue is very, very risky here.
Yeah.
So if he goes to the North Central, in all likelihood, or maybe he stays in the Northeast and picks a Christian, those are options. He can't go to the Northwest. We just did with the late Buhari, may Allah forgive him.
Yeah.
So going Northwest is a bit risky. They've had too much on their plate. But if he wants to, Kano is there. They're one of the popular things people say. But you don't know the result between the gap between NNPP in Kano and APC.
It's over 500,000.
Yes, it's over 500,000.
Yeah,
but
over a million.
For the population of Kano, that's not too much. And so what you gain if you pick somebody from Kano compared to what you lose, if a lot of people vote against your party, may be very risky.
It will be.
Outside Kano, where could he go? He could go to Kaduna and pick somebody else, and then you have both the religious card, but the Christian element is also going to... Anyway, the point is, all these computations, all these things, I've made this point before. You're wasting time on political calculations when you should be focusing on governance. It's the governance thing that you will take to the electorate at the end. It doesn't matter what you think you've done. All these people defected into your party. The bottom line is Nigerians are going to say, what did you do the first 4 years we gave you? Don't take us for granted. We can't vote you out if the election is free and fair. So show us what you've done.
And one major thing that a lot of people, and some of us will remind the president about, is one of the promises. Not that he inferred,
absolutely,
but what he says categorically. If I do not fix electricity, for example,
don't vote for me.
Don't vote for me.
Absolutely.
And that could be an albatross.
Quite a few of them. He didn't specifically say, if I don't stop all the bloodletting. But he was the president. You are a lawyer. The constitution says the job of the Nigerian state, not just the president, is to secure the citizen and the nation and to facilitate the welfare of the citizen. On both counts, this administration is failing very badly. Very, very badly.
Is it that bad compared to Muhammad Buhari in terms of security?
Absolutely.
Really? I think it's that bad. I thought Nuhu Ribadu is doing a fantastic job with some of the security guys and the IM of affairs. I thought that, based on some of the indices and the sciences that I've seen, that there's a bit more of deliberate intelligence gathering than I've seen. I'm one of those who have thought that intelligence gathering is worse off under the last administration. No coordination, intelligence zero. But I'm imagining that there seems to be some level of difference that we're saying. Maybe it's not working as much as you thought.
Well, it's difficult to use intelligence gathering as a criterion for effectiveness unless you measure it in the context of whether it actually feeds action. Less number of people die weekly in the hands of bandits and kidnappers and irredentists and subversives. It's the numbers that you use. How many people have been kidnapped? How many people have been killed in their villages? How many attacks have been made? These are the yardstick. This is the yardstick by which you measure. And I'm telling you, in the last 1 year, these killings have been worse than they've ever been. So something somewhere is wrong. And it takes so long. Just before we started this program, you've read a very encouraging story that there's finally a breakthrough in Benue. Now, the other thing we don't see is this kind of thing. We want to see those people in court. Where are all these bandits and kidnappers and murderers that are killing people? Why don't we see them being prosecuted?
I heard the former governor of Benue State who said and accused the Buhari government that there was a deliberate state support of some marauders. Some according to them, he said there are alien Fulani elements outside of Nigeria, and that the government of the day had given them some tacit support. And as a governor, I thought that was very strong. But he said that was the reality, and they were after their own people. And he said, well, things are being done differently under this government.
Well, I don't know. Are you talking about
Autumn? That's Samuel Autumn.
Same Senator Autumn yesterday said, since the president went to Benue State in Makuri,
they've not had a meeting.
They said absolutely nothing has happened. No development at all. He says there is no progress since the day the president, the same.
He said the governor has not called a meeting.
Right. So he says there's no meeting. They were supposed to have set up a peace committee. They were supposed to have done this. He said no one has called us. So the same governor who said when he was governor, who said the state is encouraging the killing of his people, is now accusing a sitting president who only a few weeks ago almost shed tears, saying, "I need to see action. I need to see action." There's nothing. Every single day, open the papers. Arrests have been made. Bandits can be killed. Arrests have been made. Where are these people? What happens to them?
Who are they?
Yes, who are they? Do you know the difference it would make if 5 bandits, just ordinary bandits, are actually prosecuted? We don't want to see just bodies on the pages of newspapers. We want to see live human beings who are killing our people on their farms, in their villages, in their towns, on the roads, everywhere. We want to see them being prosecuted. There's a law in this country. It doesn't just allow you to shoot them and kill them.
Yeah.
We want to see, and we want to know where they're getting all these weapons. We want to know where they're getting their information. Is it too much to ask that there are people who are under oath, supported by every means, according to what we hear, to protect us, and they're failing to do this? And those who assign them this responsibility are not doing anything about it? If they are, of what value is intelligence gathering? You're not an intelligence officer, with due respect. You know many things.
Yeah.
But you hear about intelligence has improved. Of what value is intelligence if it doesn't feed the
bottom line?
Yes.
The bottom line is not...
So it gets back to the point I'm making. Ultimately, what Nigerians would say to President Tinubu's administration in 2026 as we move towards 2027 is, "Sir, show us your scorecard." And we already know. Life has been a lot more difficult than you know. A lot more difficult. It's a lot more, living is a lot more expensive. To stay alive is a lot more difficult. And a lot has happened under your 4 years. We want to know why we should trust you again.
But at the moment, would you outrightly say that this government is a failure?
No. I've had occasions to say, I think that this administration can salvage a lot of goodwill, genuine goodwill from Nigeria if they jettison a lot of things. Waste, fighting corruption. That will keep public funds safer.
Is there corruption going on, right?
I think that you are likely to find that virtually every problem we have in this country is founded around corruption. Huge amounts of money have been stolen.
I thought that, there was the Buhari government that says it was so. Part of it, nobody said you should fight corruption. The Buhari government said it wants to fight corruption. And it was a major agenda. And we heard, as soon as the Buhari government was going, even before he left office, we were already hearing about how corrupt some people were in that government. And when people now say there are even more corrupt people in this government, I get worried.
Well, we shouldn't say this unless we have evidence for it.
Absolutely.
But what I can tell you is go through our budget. Good. 53 trillion naira of the budget. I read budgets. I was a public servant. I understand budgets. Huge amount of what is provided for in that budget represents waste. And it's a potential area of corruption.
So it's something that should bother the president.
It should bother the president. It should bother the president, and he should lead by example.
Especially because we are being told to tighten our belts.
Yes.
And now we have a budget.
And now we have no belt.
There's a lot of complaints in town that there are no capital releases.
Yes, well,
projects are being stalled
2 days ago.
So I wonder where the money is. We're getting more revenue, but where the money is going into.
2 days ago, retired police officers here in Abuja protested over their unpaid welfare. Look, the point I'm making, prioritize a number of things. We're talking about 2027. This administration is very serious about convincing Nigerians that it deserves another term. It must reprioritize a number of things: security, management of the economy, reduction of corruption, and then investing huge amounts of money in infrastructure, in food security, in hospitals, in schools. And you must do this as a matter of urgency. And you must do this not just because he wants to come up, but because he promised, President Tinubu promised, and swore on the Quran that he will defend the assets of this country. He will protect the Nigerian.
All right. Are you leaders of the North against Tinubu? Are you a member of the ADC? Are you supporting any political party? These are questions I would like you to answer. But until after we come back from this break, everyone. The 2027...
Why do you ask me as if everybody has to join the ADC?
No, that seems to be if anybody is leaving the APC or leaving, working with the APC, and anybody will imagine that maybe they form coalition, join the coalition, opposition coalition.
I have a party.
Oh,
I'm a member of a political party. I'm a member of the PRP.
Oh, up to now?
What do you mean up to now?
Yes, I imagine that working with
time limit?
No, sir. I know you're an Aminu Kano.
No. I've been in the PRP for a long time.
That's what I'm saying. And imagine that PRP is your long-term love. But I thought that since you worked with the Bola Tinubu government, you somehow obtained the ticket of the APC.
No.
So you were
I resigned.
So you're like Wike.
I was an APC. I was chairman of the APC in my state for 3 years. I was the chairman when we transited from CPC, and went into the coalition with Tinubu's, I think it was AD at the time, ACM. So but 6 months into Buhari's presidency, I resigned my membership of the party because I could see then, alhamdulillah, that I didn't think Buhari really became president to run the country. I think he just wanted to become a president. Just 6 months into that, I left.
Is Buhari different from Tinubu?
I think there's some similarity. I think they both wanted to be presidents for more personal reasons than anything else. I think they have labored in the political process for so long that it became about them. And that's the wrong reason to seek for political power. You want power so that you can govern people and improve things. It must never be about you.
What about Atiku? Is it the same?
Well, Atiku says he wants to serve, he wants Nigerians to give him a chance to serve. Whether he's right about Nigerians trusting him or not, we have to wait and see. If he gets the ticket for his party, he may run again if he decides to run, and he may decide not to run.
Let me ask you objectively, though. Do you think that a northerner should run in 2027 based on the balance of power?
I think that Nigerians need to be very careful about making choices. I think we've learned enough. We've suffered enough in the hands of all this. It's ours, it's ours. At this stage, we need to be less quarrelsome over where the next president comes from. The North should be prepared to recognize the fact that it is not the repository of all the powers. It may have majority of the votes, but that doesn't mean the president, it has to vote for a northerner. I have no problem with a southerner becoming the next president at all.
But provided it's fair that a southerner becomes the next president.
When you say fair, it's you make it appear as if
the basis is the balance of power. Considering that a northerner, Muhammadu Buhari, was president for 8 years, and now you have a Bola Tinubu from the southwest, he's going to spend out his 4 years in 2027.
So, this argument about 4 and 8, I've made this argument, but many people don't want to hear it. The Constitution gives you 4 years. At the end of 4 years, you go back and ask for a fresh mandate. There's nothing in the Constitution that says you must serve for 8 years. People say, yes. But it has become a habit. Since when?
Rotational presidency.
It's not in the Constitution.
It's not constitutional and it's not enshrined, although you look at this, the part 2 of our Constitution, which talks about fairness, equity, a lot of those stuff. Part of those who say, part of that section is not justiciable. But the fact remains that everyone wants to be carried along. Every part of the country feels that they belong. And it's being an understanding, unwritten rule that it's only fair if one region of the country has it for a certain number of years and it goes in the opposite direction. And that's why traditionally, people, since 1999, it does look like it's a trend.
You want to say it has become part of our political culture.
It is, yeah.
The question to ask is it every culture that you want to sustain? In the US, you can count the number of presidents they've had from the southern states, actually on your hands. And it has never been an issue. And
when do you think it will stop becoming an issue in Nigeria?
I hope it will become an issue because, to be honest with you, we are choosing the presidents from very, very narrow space. We're confining the space, our opportunities to choose. Right now, I will tell you, if you ask me who is the ideal candidate who should contest for my vote, I will tell you, I want to see a young person, somebody 60 and below, or maybe 65 and below, exposed educationally and politically, a person of immense personal integrity who would not steal people's money, somebody who is definitely committed to the interest of Nigeria as a nation, who will protect the citizens of Nigeria, somebody who knows what to do with governance. Not just when he gets there, he starts taking a decision, okay, what do we do now? A Nigerian who would be fair to the Kalabari woman and to the Fulani woman who's running away from other Fulanis who are killing her. That's the kind of candidate I'm looking for.
We had a bad footing when, from the time of when Muhammadu Buhari overthrew Shagari Muhammadu Buhari was overthrown by Babangida. Babangida was overthrown, left office for Sani Abacha. Sani Abacha died in office, and we had...
You skipped the 3 months president.
Shonekon. Yeah, I'm talking about the military presidents.
Okay.
Because Shonekon was a child of necessity, because in that sense it was... yes, not undermining the fact that he ran the affairs of this country for a short time, but then I'm trying to describe what gave us the bad footing that now costs what has become that tradition, and I'm coming there. So you had Muhammadu Buhari from the north, overthrown by the Babangida junta, the Buhari junta from the north.
Then Abacha
from Babangida to Abacha, all of them from the north, yes. Mostly from the northeast, except IBB from the north central. Then you come to
Abdul Salami
Abubakar from the north also, not too long ago. Then I just imagine that the North just wanted to say sorry for all what you have done, especially to your own son, MK Abiola. They brought a Southwest from the same state, Ogun State, Olusegun Obasanjo, to come and run for office against the Shonekon of...
that's what happened.
Yeah, so we started on that footing. And going forward, there are those who say, let us have the balance of... Unfortunately, Yaradua died in office. So there are few mishaps that have happened within our political space, which a lot of people... It's not anybody's fault. The military guys did what they did because they just had the guns to do it. But the question is that how do we fix going forward that people would not feel left out? We have 350 plus people speaking different dialects and languages. Are we going to say that they don't matter in a country that a lot of people feel that they are being left out, they are not being included? So you think that Atiku Abubakar is the best fit for Nigeria?
No, certainly will not do that. I don't have a best fit for Nigeria right now. I don't. I'm watching the politics. I'm hoping that out of all these people competing, the best will emerge. He will emerge democratically. He will emerge fairly within his party, or her party, and he will be voted freely by Nigerian citizens. But let's see. I think we're missing a very important point here. If we're going to continue with this business of it's the turn of the South, it's the turn of the North. What about the turn of the majority, the large groups, and the turn of the small groups? When you come to the north, it's usually Hausa Fulani. When you go to the south, it's either Yoruba or Ijo. Why don't you think about, you said there are 350 ethnic groups in this country. What happens to the minorities? Aren't they entitled to have a president? How many millions of years are we going to take?
That's why perhaps you belong to the Patriots, for example, and are saying that the basis of our union is questionable. And I saw your article, quite interesting. I read it 3 times, actually. There are a few portions in it that I thought that were very intriguing, though. What is the best fix for our problems? Your colleagues are asking for an overhaul, a new constitution, a brand new document. There's some people who are laughing in the corner to say, this old man, it's not going to happen.
Well, even if it doesn't happen, the real point about the Patriots and the Nigerian Political Summit Group initiative is to put on the table for Nigerians an issue that should be of concern to every Nigerian. This country is not working, Shehu. It's not working.
So it's not a Tinubu fault that it's not working?
No.
It's a systemic problem.
Tinubu inherited a damaged country. It just isn't fixing it. That is his problem. But he inherited a very damaged country. That's the truth.
So in the first place, we gave Tinubu, the Nigerian people gave Tinubu a vehicle that ab initio may never drive. Bad battery, bad tank, bad fuel, and you are thinking that as a mechanic he's not being able to fix the problem.
No, what we're saying both to President Tinubu and to Nigerians is that, look, all this business of changing presidents is not going to change anything. The foundations of the country are wrong. I'll give you just 2 examples. We're in Abuja here. If I tell you, I don't have the empirical evidence to prove this, but I can tell you on rough guess, 60% of whatever government spend is spent here in Abuja. And it's spent around people who will power, the presidency, the ministries, the National Assembly people. For goodness sake, what kind of federation, what kind of government are we running? The federal government has too much money. The federating units are starving. Now we hear there's a lot more money going to states and local governments because the subsidy has been removed by Abuja. Now, ordinarily you would think, oh great, that means a lot more money will go to the states and states will be doing a lot of things and local governments will be doing a lot of things. It's not happening. It's not. Nothing is changing in terms of
how do we fix this country?
Well, we need to put the country on the table and say what's wrong with it. The first thing to do is to question who is supposed to be the major beneficiary of this country. It's not the ethnic groups. It's not the minorities. It's not the majority. It's the citizen. You come from Ogun State. I'm suspecting you.
No, I'm from. Yeah, it's very difficult to.
You're from Kwara State.
I'm from Kwara.
Now,
I'm a northerner.
Yes, you and I. Okay, somebody from design a country that speaks for the citizen from Abia and Zamfara. Give them the same rights, the same protection, the same opportunities, the same privileges. Design that country that says, when you made reference to Chapter 2 of the Constitution, fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy. Fantastic. That's the best chapter in the Constitution. It says what Nigeria exists for and who it exists for. It exists for the people, the poor, the weak, and the strong as well. We all need the protection of this country. Design a constitution and say the resources of this country belong to the citizen. Then you design systems and processes that make sure that those resources are not stolen. When you say Nigeria is fundamentally committed to protecting the right, the life and property of the citizen, you design a security system that protects him. Now, all these structures, federal, whether we have presidential or parliamentary, whether we have 36 states or whether, they are secondary. We have never really designed a country to work for the citizen. Because the citizen has no say. He's only a voter. That's for me. That was really what in the column you read. Now, some of my colleagues say, oh no, if you design a country of ethnic groups, the citizen will have a say. Says who? So we need to get back to the drawing board. And it's our country. Nobody will tell us what to do this. Not even the leadership. Yeah. What we did last week was to remind Nigerians that there's a major task ahead of us, not electing the next president.
Do you think that because you cannot move ahead with those ideas without a listening president who has a political will to make it happen? And the advocacy has also to be made.
Yes.
That's why I said today I attended an event where we are fighting and advocating for reserved seats for women, because women play a lot of role, yet in public office and elected office they are not. It's just justice is not even being given to the women, and there is a need for that to be fixed. Whether that will happen, it's only the male folk that will make it happen, and the one that will sit on those chairs. And so it's a very difficult one to do. You think that the president will have the political will to make it happen? What the patriots are asking.
Well, I hope so. If he doesn't, I hope he listens. I mean, all what we've done is to come up with some ideas that could represent the direction for change. It's the views of only a few of us. And we say to Nigerians, listen, all this tinkering with all these things won't work. The fundamental foundations of this country need to be addressed. And here are some ideas. That's what we did.
All right. Okay? Let me anchor on this note. 2027. There are those who imagine maybe Tinubu has offended some of you in the north, some of the leaders of the north. What did he do?
I don't know if we're the only people he has offended, and if we've been offended at all. Well, I don't know. Can I ask you a question for a change? What makes you ask that first?
Because there are feelers that we get, and as a journalist, I hear a lot. And that it seems to be that politically Tinubu might be in trouble. I even heard now that Kwankwaso might be going into the APC. There are a lot of movement. But those who say, in fact, I heard in the background, in Katsina, the burial of the late president, former president, there are those who say, look, as soon as Buhari is dead, they are no longer supporting the APC. There seems to be some tension from the north.
Did you see the video where the Emir of Dora was standing up and saying Tinubu, Tinubu, Tinubu to the wife of the president? Did you see it?
I saw that.
In his palace. You saw it? I don't know. I see the north. When people say things like the north, the north is very complex. There is a layer there that it's very difficult to judge, because it either is afraid of politics or it's politics itself. Tinubu's record is not very good across the country. It's not just the north.
We're totally out of time. No time is ever enough to have a conversation with you. And always a pleasure. He's such a pleasant person to speak to.
Thank you.
Calmly, but you shoot a lot of bullets. Thank you so much.